Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I started a Fiverr gig for a $5 shoutout on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. Link will be in the description. Also, I apologize in advance for trying to be funny and for the excessive length of this video. What is up guys, this is Max Square, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do some basic lower third animations in After Effects. Let's get started. So I'm going to show you a quick preview of what we're going to be making. You can see the lower third is pretty simple, it's got kind of a flat design, but what's cool about the animation is that when we switch off the background layer and just add a video clip, you'll see that the text takes on the color of the video clip behind it. So it's just using some track matte properties in there. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make this animation. So we're going to go ahead and create a new project. So just go to File, New Project, and then we're going to go to Composition, New Composition. I'm just going to call this Main, and my settings are 1920 by 1080, and the duration is just 8 seconds. Of course, you can adjust these settings however you want to fit your needs. Once you got that, just go ahead and hit OK, and we're going to click into our composition, and then just double click the rectangle tool to just give us a background layer to work with. Now I'm going to go ahead and change this color to a kind of a pink color. That's hard to look at. Let's go with the salmon color here. Cool, so once you've got your background layer, go ahead and select the rectangle tool one more time, and then just create a simple rectangle box. Now this is going to be the background for our lower third, so this could be an oval, a circle, whatever you would like, but I'm just going to be using a simple rectangle for this video. Then I'm just going to change that color to white, and if your rectangles have any weird strokes or fill, you can just go to the fill or stroke and just click on the text and not the actual color, and you can select whether you want a solid color or a gradient, or if you just want to hide it, you can just select none and hit OK. Now that we have a rectangle for the background, I'm going to go ahead and select it and just put it on the far left and the far bottom. Then I'm going to use the shift and arrow keys to just move it up so it's evenly aligned from the corner. Now once we have that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Twitter icon, and I'm going to drag it into my composition here. And as you can see, this is incredibly small and very hard to read, so I'm just going to scale this up. But if I do that, you'll see that the quality of my icon is completely distorted. Now because this is an EPS, which means it's a vector file, I can select the continually rasterize option, and you can see that the quality is back to normal. Now I'm just going to drag that down to our lower third here, and I may scale it down a little bit to fit inside our box. And I got this icon from flaticon.com. That's fun to say, and I will put that link down in the description if you would like to check out their icons. They have some awesome flat icons there for free. This is not a sponsor. I'm going to stop talking about them now. Cool, so once you've got your icon, go ahead and grab the text tool, just create a simple text box, and I'm just going to type fun things like Max Square YT. Fun stuff. And it does not matter what the color of your icon and text is, because we're going to add that transparent fill so it takes on the background's properties. But if you do want a custom color, feel free to customize that now. Now before we add the transparent fill for our text, it's going to be easier to animate it in the way we have it now, and you'll see why in a couple minutes once we're done animating it. So first I'm going to select the rectangle, and I'm going to select P to pull up the position properties. I'm going to go to about a second or so in and create a keyframe. Then I'm going to go to the beginning of our timeline and just drag it off the canvas. Then we're just going to go in a couple of frames to where the rectangle is behind the icon, and you can add as much margin as you want. This is going to affect how long the animation actually takes. So I'm going to go to about 14 frames here, and I'm going to go to the Twitter icon and go to the rotation, hitting R on the keyboard, create a keyframe, and then I'm also going to hit S to pull up scale and hit a keyframe as well. Then I'm going to go back a few frames and go to scale, make sure it's at 0, and rotation, and I'm going to go to -90. So now the icon should just kind of pop up as it rotates and scales up, and it should do that as the icon is over the rectangle. And this is completely up to you, but preferably if you want it to only come up once the rectangle is behind it, you can drag those keyframes over a little bit, and that way it'll be a little more delayed. That looks pretty good. Then we're gonna go to the text, and we're gonna take the text layer, and we're gonna select the rectangle tool, and click and drag over it to create a mask. Now you wanna make sure this is pretty exact, so you may have to zoom in here, and once you have that set up correctly, you're gonna go to the mask and go to where the rectangle is once again completely behind the text, and go to the mask path and hit a keyframe, and then go to the beginning to where the rectangle hits the text, and we're gonna go hit V on the keyboard, double click into the mask, and just click and drag from right to left. Now you don't have to stack this completely on top of itself, just so that the text is not showing, and this can be exact so that as the rectangle starts to go behind the text, it is pretty much the same as it goes. So now that we actually have our animation working, you can see it's not the most exciting thing to watch. So if we select those 3 layers and we just hit shift, click to the top, and click U on the keyboard, we can bring up all the animation properties for each of those layers. Now, I'm going to be using the Mount MoGraph Motion version 2 script to animate this, and this is about $20 on his website, and I'll put a link in the description down below. I highly recommend getting this if you're into animating. It makes your workflow incredibly quick and easy to use, and get some awesome animations in just a couple of seconds. And you'll see what I mean once we start to animate this. So I'm just going to select the rectangle keyframes, and I'm going to set the sliders to 50, 50, and about 75 or 80. And what this is actually doing is if I select the keyframes and pull up the graph editor, is if I select this and I just go to 0, 0, and 0, that's obviously just a straight line. But we want it to kind of ease in and ease out so it's just more interesting. So I'm going to set this back again to 50 and 75. And you'll see that it is actually adjusting as I drag those sliders. So now if we watch that again, the rectangle actually kind of slides in much quicker towards the beginning and then kind of settles in towards the end. So you can do whatever you want here, but I'm just going to select the other keyframes and animate about the same properties. So if we watch that, it's much more interesting to watch. Now, it is fairly quick, so I'm going to drag out the end keyframes for all of this. And you can just hold shift and click to all the end keyframes to select them all. And I'm going to drag the end to about 1.5 seconds. So if we watch it again, it just kind of animates on a little slower and it's not as abrupt. Now you may have to drag the beginning keyframes in a little bit so that it does still show up with the rectangle behind it. So now that we're done animating this, I'm just going to select the text and the icon, right click it and select pre-compose, and title our new composition fill. And then I'm going to go to the rectangle and for the background of our lower third and go to track matte and select alpha inverted matte fill. And now you can actually see that the text and the icon are taking on the color of our background layer. Now if you need to make any changes to the text and the icon, you can jump into the fill composition, and you may have to add a background layer just to see what you're doing. And you can make whatever adjustments you need, but once you're done, make sure you hide that background layer again so that the track matte properties still work. So just to kind of show this off to you guys, I'm going to bring in a video clip here and put it above the background color so that you can just see that the track matte is working for sure. So guys, that is it for this tutorial. I will put the project file and a link to download in the description below. Also, be sure to check out that plugin at Mount MoGraph. It is not a sponsor, but I really do hope you guys check it out. It is absolutely amazing to work with in After Effects, and I've never used a better plugin yet. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.